Tamara, Bess, licensed marriage and family therapist and director of the Center for Healthy Relationships. Today, I want to talk to you about little t traumas versus big T traumas as they relate to our behaviors. People come to the Center for Healthy Relationships usually looking for help to do more of the behavior that they wish they could do, or to do less of things that they don't like that they're doing. Whether that's happening individually in your personal, private interactions with yourself, or whether it's in relationship, those are the two kinds of behaviors. There are actually only three kinds of behaviors that we deal with here at Center for Healthy Relationships, and I'll explain that to you. But first I want to explain the difference between little t traumas and big T traumas, because that has everything to do with how we address the behaviors that you would prefer to be having in your life right now. So a big T trauma is a discrete event that happens that causes you to believe that your life is in danger, or to have the perception that somebody else who's close to you is in danger. It's usually an accident, or it's an event between people that where someone is harmed. And the big T traumas are discrete, and when you have the after effects, when you have the trauma responses related to that thing, they happen in your body, and when they're happening in your body, you know very clearly that the symptom that you're having is connected to the trauma that happened. It's really easy to tell. Your body tells you the warning signs, and the awareness is really clear and very present. Little t traumas are different. So little t traumas are those things that happen repeatedly over time, usually in the course of relationship, most of the time when we're growing up. So, for example, if while you're sitting at your dinner table when you're a child, you don't want to eat your peas and carrots, but your parents tell you that you have to clean your plate because there are children in other countries who are starving, then you will develop a rule inside of you that makes you override your internal awareness of what you need in favor of the rule. Anytime we have something that we need, anytime that our basic survival or our basic needs for well-being get overridden by a rule that doesn't really apply to who we are or what our own well-being in our body, that's a little t trauma. Those little t traumas show up as patterns throughout our life until we do the detective work that we have to do to identify why we're behaving the way we are or not doing the things we want to be doing. When we identify that, then we can say, okay, what is the belief? Where did this begin? And what is the belief system that I want to develop based on who I know myself to be, what my needs are, and who I want to be in relationship with myself and other people? So that's the difference between little t traumas and big T traumas. When you think about trauma therapy, most people are thinking about big T trauma therapy. But I'll tell you that pretty much all of the therapy that's done here at the Center for Healthy Relationships is connected to small t traumas. So let me tell you now about the three kinds of behaviors that exist. The first kind of behavior is behavior that I like and I want to see more of. The second behavior is behavior that I don't like but that I can tolerate. And the third kind of behavior is behavior that I don't like, that I cannot tolerate. The only behavior that should be here consistently, without fail, first and foremost, are behaviors that threaten personal safety. So I'm going to put safety here just as a reminder that safety should be the absolute imperative in any time we're looking at behaviors and the things that we want to be doing versus don't want to be doing. So I filled in this chart with a couple of things that you might want to put on your chart when you're talking with the therapist, while we're working with you on how to increase the behaviors that you like and want to see more of in yourself, and how to decrease the ones that you don't like. This, by the way, is a parenting strategy that's based on some of the things that we teach of helping children how to get their needs met while we're doing parenting support here at the center. But it also applies to your reparenting of yourself as you're healing these little t traumas. So let's say I have in my category of things I like and want to see more of, I want to see myself exercising more, eating healthy food more often, having time with friends, and saving money. I don't like, but I can tolerate emotional eating, yelling at other people, withdrawal, and spending too much money. So you might look at this list and say, well, no, actually none of those things are tolerable. But the reason I have them in the don't like but can tolerate category is because You should only move 1 or 2 things at a time into this category. The reason is, if you focus on everything and try to fix all of it, it's nearly impossible to zero in on the little t traumas that are behind behaviors you don't like if you're looking at everything at once. So, what I recommend that you do is you say, okay, I want to save money and I want to stop spending too much money. So those are 2 that are quite related to each other. So I'm going to move them over to this don't like, can't tolerate category. Now that they're in this category, I'm going to figure out, I'm going to explore and understand what the little t traumas are around spending money in my life. Right? Did I have to get all the hand-me-down shoes? Did my family spend some time being homeless? Were my parents unemployed? The details about what the trauma looks like is as individual as the people who are telling the story. So I got to figure out what that means for me. When I figure out what that means for me, I can understand the story and how I keep myself safe by doing these behaviors that I actually want to change, and really look at what's realistic and look at what my values are today based on who I am today instead of who I was when those little t traumas were created. So once I do that, I can say, look at me, I'm saving money now, and I'm not spending too much money, but I am spending the money on the necessities, and I'm taking good care of myself. That's great. Now, what's the next thing? I want to stop yelling at other people. So I got those things taken care of, so now I'm not going to yell at other people anymore. And you start the same process over again. So we look at behavior and the things that you need and how to get more of what you need and to do less of what you don't want to be doing at the Center for Healthy Relationships in a really structured process way that when you're done and you've completed a chart like this with your therapist, you'll be really clear about how the process works so that you can actually graduate from our center and from the work you're doing with us and continue to do these things on a deeper healing process on your own without much help from or support from other people. If you have any questions, be free to ask on the YouTube video. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you next time.